And what is good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast here. I'm Jeffrey Kirby. As always, each and every week, we are joined by Jared. Jared, how in the hell are you?
Doing all right. Another day of day 200 of when Aaron Rodgers is going to sign or not. And no, that's it. No, nothing going on. Pretty good. Weather's getting nice down here. It's getting more warm. But it's springtime officially.
Yeah, you could tell it is the temperature today at least was very nice here in Northeast Ohio. As I'm doing the show from my front porch, smoking a Oliva Serie O. So, yeah, this is and then here in a couple days it's gonna get back to being real shitty, and cold, and rain. Had thunderstorms all night last night. It's Ohio springs are very bipolar.
I bet for sure. I bet.
So we're going to talk about some of the what we got on the agenda for today's episode. Kind of talk about some of the new rules within the NFL that got approved at the owners' meetings, and then we're just going to kind of talk draft. We're going to kind of have a little bit of a open. We'll let you guys drop your comments. We'll let you guys think that, or we'll let you guys comment and see what you guys come up with in terms of what you guys want to talk about. And then, we'll just kind of go from there, have a nice open conversation. Just so you know, next week, Derpy, I see your comment. I'll get to it in a sec. Next week, we have Joe from Draft Nation, Joe 412 from Draft Nation. He's going to be coming on the show, and we're going to be talking draft. We did one of these shows last year. Make sure to go and check it out last year. We just basically did an open book. We just kind of talked about different scenarios, different picks, what might happen within certain picks. And that's going to be at noon Eastern time next Thursday. Just for the foreseeable future, the shows are going to probably be earlier within the day just because my schedule at work got switched. So now I'm working 3 to 11s, and I have to be at work by 2:30. So we're going to be trying to do the shows around noon. So just so you guys know about that, the mock draft show the following week will be obviously me, Jared. Herb is going to be back on, and then Hunter, he will be on. I'll have to reconfirm with him, but he asked to be on that show. And then that following week is the NFL draft. You guys know all about that. I might try and finagle a way to live stream from location. We'll see if I can make that happen, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, that's kind of the foreseeable future of what's going to be going on with the show for the next couple of weeks. Derpy says, Jeff, just think the positive spring game on the 12th. The positive spring game on the 12th. I'm trying to think of what you're talking about here.
Is it talking about your college team?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I'm sitting here thinking about, thinking we're talking about baseball, which, by the way, Derpy here said, before the show even started, here lays Jared hopes and dreams as Yankee fans. What a baby.
Okay. All right.
I can't wait till they ban the torpedo bats, except they won't because it's the Yankees and the MLB loves the Yankees, and we'll let them do whatever they want.
Oh, my goodness. Look at everyone getting upset.
They'll come up with a rule saying only the Yankees and Dodgers can use those bats. Anyone else, you will be banned.
They act like not everyone uses the torpedo bats. The Yankees just figure out what to do with it. And then people wanted to try it out, and it works for them.
If it was the Kansas City Royals or the Miami Marlins, they would say nope, it is banned. But since it was the Yankees, they're saying oh, absolutely, because the MLB loves the Yankees.
Definitely not true, but okay. But not everyone uses the torpedo bat, by the way, if you're really wondering about that. It's only, I think, 4 players use it on our team. 4 or 5.
Doesn't fit my agenda.
Nope, exactly. So
if it doesn't fit my agenda, I'm not going to mention it.
Yeah, of course. You don't care. You don't care.
By the way, guys, let me know. I try to get my best to add noise reduction in the background or background noise reduction in the background. Let me know because we just had a motorcycle go through. I don't know how loud it was to you guys. Just let me know. All right, sounds good. Let's see here. Derpy says only the Yankees can suspend a game in the playoffs when it wasn't even raining, only because to save a day of pitching. Yes, absolutely. If the Guardians try to fight that, say no, you have to play that. But it was the Yankees, so they said absolutely. We bow down to you. We will do whatever you want.
We're talking about the past.
All hail the Yankees.
Talking about
all hail the Yankees is what MLB does. Or it's all hail the Dodgers. We must try to have another Dodger Yankee World Series.
Look at you being just some haters, you guys are. It's okay. It's all right. But I think we're hearing about football. It's still early in the season. It's only been 6 games, 6 to 10, 8 games. I don't know that happened. Still got a long season of baseball.
Let's say baseball started. What was it last week? I think it was last Thursday.
Yeah.
So only about 7 calendar days.
Yeah.
Of baseball, and MLB already loves the Yankees. Back to regularly scheduled programming. And like I said, make sure to drop comments. You guys have any, or you guys want to talk about anything related, draft wise, Steeler wise, drop them in the comments, and we're going to just kind of have an open conversation for the most part today. We'll start off with some of the rules in the MLB, or not MLB, in the NFL. Some of the new rules changes in the NFL that were approved at the owners' meetings. One of them was the kickoff change, where owners voted to move the starting field position after touchbacks on kickoffs from the 30 to the 35-yard line. So we are just 5 yards away from what it's like when you kick the ball out of bounds.
Yep.
So apparently what they're trying to do is they're trying to – this is a contradiction that I notice with this rule, and kind of what it's been like over the last, let's say, 10, 12 years, is remember back when they pushed the kickoff from the 30 or where the ball was teed off from the 30 to the 35 in hopes to have less returns. But now we're making rules to get more returns.
That's what I'm confused about. I don't know what they're trying to do here. It feels like it's going back and forth. Are they trying to land it into the landing zone, they call it? Where when the returner catches it, then the action goes. I don't get it.
I don't know. That whole rule to me is it's not confusing, but what I am confused about is you're kind of contradicting yourself over what you've been saying. Because you said that kickoff returns are some of the most dangerous plays in football.
Yep.
So you try to limit those, but now you're trying to get them back. But Don't get me wrong, as a fan, we love returns because returns brings in another aspect of something fun happening with a potential return for a touchdown or a long return or something like that. Also just gives the referees more chances to throw flags, but that's here nor there.
I love it because anything can happen. Like I said, it's another part of the game that you don't know what's going to happen. They could get a nice gain, or like you said, return it for a touchdown, or they could fumble the ball.
Very well, good. Yeah, there's just that whole, like I said, just this was a conversation I was having at work today, or not today, but earlier this week when this rule came out with a coworker of mine, a fellow officer, and we both said the same thing. It was like, why are we contradicting? What's the contradiction here? Why?
It should have just never changed. It should have just been the way it is. That's how I am. So I thought it was just fine. I get what they're trying to do. Safety, health. I get it. I just like the way it was personally. It should have been changed.
A couple comments here. Jared, I just know the type of personality you have. Me and Jeff have souls.
Okay.
Says glad the tush push is gone. I don't think that got approved.
I think
Did that?
I think it did.
It did? I don't remember hearing about it.
I forgot.
I'll have to do more digging on that here real quick. Because I feel like that would have been a bigger deal. We would have saw a bigger deal on it.
I heard 16. I think half the teams voted. They wanted to.
So it would have been half and half.
Yeah, it's 50-50 from what I heard. I have to look, like I said, do research, but
yeah, I'll have to look it up here real quick. Not to mention you have to tell them you're onside kicking it, which I mean you're not going to have any more surprise onside kicks like Pat McAfee did in 2014 or like what Sean Payton did in the Super Bowl.
Yep. Man, those were fun. I love surprises, but I get it. It is what it is.
All right, we got some. They postponed the vote.
Okay, that
from
makes
our
more
boy
sense.
Herb. Okay, I was gonna say because I feel like there would have been a big old deal about it on X if that actually had gotten approved. But we'll ask it. And Derpy, Herb, anyone else who's watching it, you guys could let me know. Do you think that the tush push kit should be banned?
I don't think so. I think it was fine. People get annoyed about it, but find a way to stop it. There has to be a way to stop it, you think?
I'm with you. I agree. People just want it banned because they can't stop it.
Yep.
Find a way to stop it. That's all I got to say. They do it because it works. We hate it because it's not our team doing it.
Yep.
I understand it.
You hate it when it's against, when doing it against your team.
You hate it when it's against you, or when it's done against you, or whatever the hell it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, so like here, Derpy here says, Jared goes support the Eagles, man. Well, then listen, you'll have to say the same thing about me because I agree 100%. If you have to go ahead and find a way to stop it. Find a way to stop it. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a team in the playoffs that had pretty good success?
Yep.
Was the third team that had pretty good, not against the Eagles, but another team when they were running the tush push?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it Baltimore? Didn't Baltimore have good success on it?
I don't know.
Buffalo, maybe?
Don't know, but other teams can do it too. Is another thing, It's not just the Eagles that can do it.
And then Herb here says, I agree with you guys. Find a way to stop it. Yeah, just find a way to stop it.
There's always a way to stop it. That's how I see it. Just no one has figured it out, which is it's going to be hard, but you got to figure it out.
Yep. All right. Next rule on the docket, the overtime rule. So now teams will be guaranteed a possession.
Oh, so in the regular season now, huh? So that's been approved.
Which we're getting in the right direction. However,
I'm not mad about that.
I'm not mad at it either. But there's one rule that does need to be changed. Get rid of fucking ties.
I agree. There should be no ties.
And I have a personal vendetta.
I know you do.
Because Jared's been to a tie.
Well, I've been to a tie.
Herb has been to a tie.
A lot of you have been to a tie. That we know.
And I've been to two. Two. There's been 3 Steeler ties in my lifetime. Yep. I've been to 2 of them. The other one was when I was still in diapers. That is like how?
There shouldn't be ties at all. Like I said, overtime rules. So, and then if it ends and nobody scores, you run it again. Maybe shorter time limit. I don't know. Or maybe maybe do like next score wins if it's after the first overtime.
You could do something like that.
Because that would make sense.
Yeah, it's that needs to be changed immediately. Goddamn, do I hate ties? And Herb here says, yeah, they used Mark Andrews instead of Lamar. Okay, so yeah, that's so that it was Buffalo who had good success against it against. I thought it was flip flopped. I thought it was Baltimore's defense having good. So I knew there was someone. I knew there was someone. Next rule on the docket is replay assist. The league also expanded its replay assist system to overturn objective calls if there is a clear and obvious evidence that a foul did not occur.
Oh, finally.
You know what, though?
It's not good either way.
We say that good now until it bites us in the ass. Because remember in the 2019 season when they said that you could challenge pass interference, and of course, I think the Steelers were the first team to have it overturned.
Yep. Yeah, that's very true.
It was because it was against Seattle. There was no PI called. They review it, and then they throw the PI, and it's like, are you effing kidding me? If I'm not mistaken, I think it was against DK Metcalf too. I could be wrong. That was about 6 years ago, but 5.5, 6 years ago. But
well, like I said, we'll see. I guess. So I guess that's the only one those are the ones that have been approved, and everyone that they're still talking about the other rules. I assume so. The tush push happened, so they postponed the vote for that one.
There is something else now with this. It's Hawkeye technology. The NFL will begin using Sony's Hawkeye virtual measurement system. So therefore, they're officially going. I think they're getting rid of the chain gang. Now, the chain gang will still be there as a backup, but I guess they're going to technology now for first downs.
Oof. I don't know how you feel about that, but I guess.
And then there are some other little things that got procedural changes. This is, by the way, I'm getting my information from the Houston Chronicle, by the way, so there's my source on that. A number of smaller changes were made as well, permitting teams to designate 2 players to return if they are placed on IR when the roster is reduced to 53. So now you can have up to 2 at a time.
That's cool. That's good.
Granting playoff teams 2 additional spots to designate players to return in the postseason, increasing the maximum from 8 to 10. So you get more. And then inserting point differential as a third tiebreaker for awarding contracts. This was one too that the Steelers brought up and got approved, allowing teams to have 1 video or phone call with no more than 5 prospective unrestricted free agents during the off-season's legal tampering period. And you can also make travel arrangements as well once they agree to terms. So that's something that that Art Rooney and company have brought to the table and got approved.
Okay. That is good. I don't know what's what happened. Did Kirby's internet die outside? Yep. His laptop died. Oh my goodness. Poor Kirby. Kirby's laptop is dead. Well, guys, we will be back once Kirby comes back here. We will resume the podcast.
All right. I think we're back. I don't know what the hell happened. My laptop just completely decided to die. I think we're still live here, by the way.
We are. Yep,
Huh?
we are.
So let's go ahead and want to confirm
Resume the convo.
Okay, yep, we are. We're still live. We are back. So yeah, technical difficulties. Gotta freaking love them. Gotta love technology. Of course, the one time I tried to decide to enjoy this beautiful weather and do the show from out here, shit goes awry. But yeah, back to the regularly scheduled conversation of what we were talking about. Which, by the way, I kind of forgot what we were talking about.
Something with the rules.
I'm trying to figure.
What the rule was, you talked about the small rules that were changed, but other than that, nothing really major. Like the major rules have been approved yet. I saw one. I think the Lions or someone to try to prove to make wild card teams, better higher than division
based on record.
based on
So,
record.
which, by the way, is kind of like how they do it in the NBA.
Yep.
But I'm one of those people that I disagree with that. And I think Mike Tomlin kind of says this, and I agree with him on this aspect that, listen, division football means something in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, you should be – if you win your division, you should be rewarded with one of the top 4. And that's that. So I'm with him. I mean, it's like in MLB too. There'll be a team that has 108 wins. Didn't the Giants one year have 108 wins or something, and we're in the wild card?
Yep.
It was that Yankees or it was Dodgers or Giants or someone in the West. They had that, and so
they had to be in the wild card. It is what it is, That's just what happens when you play. For football, it's 18 weeks of football, and you don't know what's going to happen. And winning the division is really important. I think it's
absolutely
more important than the wild card. It means more something than you say like the NBA. They got a lot more teams that can get into playoffs. Kind of. The
NBA divisions don't matter. I mean, let's be honest here. Do you, as an Orlando Magic fan, even know who's in your division, quote unquote?
A couple teams, yes, but because we won it last year. So that's why I know. Other than that, no. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, NBA doesn't matter with divisions. It's all about being the top 6 seeds, honestly. The 4 is the more important, but top 4, but the top 6 is where you want to be.
Yeah, I agree. Division football matters in the NFL. I'm right there with it 100%.
It makes the games more meaningful, and the rivalries are there. It just it has a lot more meaning than the NBA, like any other sports game. Sports major league.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So that's kind of about it in terms of the rule changes that have gone on. Obviously, we're, like Jared said at the top of the show, we're at day 268 of the Aaron Rodgers way. There are some people that are speculating that the deal's already been done and signed. It's just it's not been announced yet to the public. I don't know.
Did you hear Big Ben's theory?
I did not.
He had a theory of why.
Okay. Let me hear it.
He said the reason that he's not signed, has hope on Minnesota, hopefully. Waiting on Minnesota Vikings.
Which here's my rebuttal to that. Why? If you're Minnesota, why would you do that?
Well, not Minnesota, but here's what Aaron Rodgers thinking. I think you think Minnesota's closer to a Super Bowl team than the Steelers are, and they didn't announce that JJ McCarthy really was starting. You would say, right? You're assuming they would, but don't you think it's kind of weird that the Vikings haven't said anything? Yeah, we're JJ McCarthy is our quarterback, for the future, but for this season they haven't fully commit to him. That's what Big Ben's theory was when he talked on his own.
Which, I mean, I guess in his aspect, yes, I understand it. However, if you're looking at it from the Minnesota side, it's like, why? I mean, yes,
I agree.
They haven't announced, quote unquote, that JJ McCarthy is their starting quarterback, and that's understandable. But I mean, let's be honest, if you're Minnesota, you spent the 11th overall pick on him last year, so why wouldn't you want to play him?
Yep.
It's like, I'm curious to see what's going to be going on with this whole Kirk Cousins thing in Atlanta, because Kirk Cousins apparently seems like he's like, listen, I see the writing on the wall. They said that they're going to make him a backup, so let me out of here so I could go and actually try and play somewhere. So that could add a little bit of something.
What teams would want to trade for him, and what is he worth? His contract is not great.
Yeah, you're going to have to absorb that. So,
I heard a little bit about that. like what teams he could possibly go to, Kirk Cousins, but like more about worried about the draft. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to get traded anywhere as of soon. Maybe during OTA, maybe when as the season gets closer, but as of now, I don't think he gets traded.
Yeah,
unless something changes last minute, you never know. But
we got a comment. Or go ahead, continue on, and I'm gonna get to a comment.
That was pretty much it. But anything could happen.
I got a comment here from TJ. First comment of the night from him. Can the draft happen tonight already so I can stop stressing over what we're going to do? Because the thought of QB is kind of killing me. Our Hall of Fame quarterback said D-line. Which, by the way, yes, I agree. I wish we have 21 days.
3 weeks.
3 weeks from 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from this exact moment, in about a half hour, the NFL draft will be starting. And I'm with you there. I cannot wait for this to start, and it's going to be a blast. By the way, if you guys are in Pittsburgh, make sure to go buy tickets. Go to the Draft Nation Draft Show in Rivers Casino. Obviously, I'll be there. Or if worse comes to worse, if you just live in the Pittsburgh area, I'll be there Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, whenever the hell I get there. So you guys can come holla at your boy as long as I ain't got plans or potential might be things that are in the works for that Wednesday night. So we'll have to see. But
other than that, tomorrow's the interesting day of we find out. It's Colorado's Pro Day tomorrow. I know if you don't know. It's the big day of who's gonna be there. Who's gonna be look closely at Shedeur Sanders? What scouts is
not only him, but then obviously Travis Hunter as well.
Travis Hunter's the other one.
Because let's be honest here, you're expecting Tennessee to be there, you're expecting Cleveland to be there, you're expecting the Giants to be there, but you don't know for who.
You don't know who's going to be there. You expected those teams, the representatives, to show up, but who's going to show up and be there,
and for who? Because I listen. This first overall pick, this is kind of reminding me of the 2022 draft, where for a long time we didn't know who the first overall was picked. Then you started to get the idea it was going to be Trayvon Walker, but right now, 3 weeks out, I don't know who the hell is it going to be. Is it going to be? Is it going to be Cam Ward? Is it going to be Travis Hunter? Is it going to be Abdul Carter? There's that's right
still
now
in the air. Everyone's consuming is Cam Ward right now, but what if that could change all on draft night? Could be, like I said, any one of those guys. Don't know. What if Shedeur has a great pro day Friday and the Tennessee's like, oh, are we for sure? We like, we like, yeah, I know. I'm just throwing it out there, but it's very unlikely.
My question is going to be too is obviously the size of Shedeur. I mean, he's 6'1.5", somewhere. I believe 212.
Close to 6'2". Close to 220.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's about. I think he was 212 at the combine. Which listen, I the way that I've described this quarterback thing with people that I talk to when it comes to these quarterbacks between Cam Moore and Travis Hunter is, I think Shedeur Sanders has the higher floor, but Cam Ward has the higher ceiling. But the ceiling and floor of Cam Ward is like this.
Yep.
It is all over the versus it's kind of like a boom or bust situation. It's kind of how I felt about Anthony Richardson.
Yep.
I had said that Anthony Richardson reminded me a lot of Josh Allen in terms of the boom or bust potential. And so far it has been a massive bust for Indianapolis. And I think that could be the same thing for Cam. If Cam Ward could get to that level, he's going to be up here. He's going to be great.
Yep.
But if not, he's versus Shedeur Sanders, where his floor is here, but his ceiling's here. So how much are you going to be able to get out of Shedeur? Do you think that he has the chance to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? I don't know if he can.
It's a lot of questions that we'll find out to be answered here soon. down the line. But I'm just wondering, I assume the Steelers are going to be there tomorrow. I just wonder who is going to be there.
Yeah.
How interested are the Steelers are into Shedeur Sanders?
Well, how it will show just clearly how interested they are in quarterbacks.
That too. It shows because we're still 3 weeks away, but like Kirby said, all these news and topics are all going to start flying around now that Shedeur Sanders is falling. Might be the fall, out of the out of the
By
top.
the way, the range
5.
now of Shedeur Sanders, the way that people have talked to him, has gone off the charts because they're now like I think just today there was a conversation on 93.7 saying that the Steelers would be interested in drafting Shedeur at 21.
Yep.
It's insane how the range of where this guy's going to be at. And listen, do I think this is going to be a Will Levis situation where people thought, I remember my last mock draft on that draft, I thought he was going to be the 4th overall pick and ended up not being the case.
Yep.
So, and he ended up falling all the way out of the first round. Do I think that's going to happen? No.
No, I think Shedeur is going to get taken somewhere in the first round. It is just what team's going to do it. Is there going to be a trade up to get him if he falls into the teens? You would say maybe out of the after 10, maybe I don't know.
But the conversation comes back to once you get to a certain level, there's not all that many teams that are quarterback needy enough to draft quarterback with their first round pick.
Yep.
So that's where things get a little shaky as well. TJ here says, our potential saviors, now a Cowboy.
Oh, my gosh.
Referring to Joe Milton, which, by the way, I said this before, and I am staying 10 toes on this. I'm standing on business, standing on biscuits on this. I don't understand this Joe Milton hype. Everyone's acting like Joe Milton's the second coming of God.
He played one good game.
There's so many people that are doing it too.
He played a good game, I think. I don't know.
Was it in a preseason game or was it a regular season game?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a great question. I don't know. I think it was a regular season game. I think the preseason he was doing good, but I think the hype was the regular season game. I think he was in for.
Herb says week 18.
Yep. Oh yeah, week 18. Again, what they played against the Buffalo Bills, the backups. Man, maybe Kirby and I could look good against the backups.
TJ here says, if we take Dart at 21, I'm doing 21 shots for how sad I am. Which, hey, listen, I'm just going to say this now. You might have to start preparing yourself for that. Don't
be surprised. As sad as to say it, in the beginning, I was the hater, but then you were coming, as the time gets closer, you're starting to realize, they might do it.
It might actually happen.
They might actually do it. If Jackson Dart is there at 21, like I said, it all depends who's there. It really does, honestly, in my eyes. Unless they like a player over Jackson Dart, maybe like a Kenneth Grant.
Which I wouldn't be mad at.
Wouldn't be mad at.
Which, Herb, you're in here. You'll love for me to say this.
But Kenneth Grant.
I would love to see Kenneth Grant. I'd love to see Will Johnson. I'd love to see either of them on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Would you take Derek Harmon over Jackson Dart? See, that's where it gets to. What player would you take over Jackson Dart if he's there at 21? Derek Harmon, Walter Nolan, Jade Barron.
So, all right. So TJ here says, I'll do it if they take him over Kenneth Grant. I'll be pissed. Okay, so let's say in this, we got to remember too that this defensive tackle class is deep.
Yep.
It is very deep. So if you don't get a first round defensive tackle, quote unquote, you're still going to get good guys in the later rounds.
Yep, I agree. Same with running backs. We're not drafting a running back round 1. Do not let's stop that right there. As much as I would love Ashton Jeanty, Omarion Hampton, no, I don't want one in the first round. Give me a middle round. You can give me 2 of the Ohio State guys. Give me Scattaboo from. Give me someone in the middle rounds. I don't want any one of those 2 in the first.
Caleb
round.
Johnson.
Shout out to my guy RJ Harvey. I like him a lot. Of course, he went to UCF, but that's another guy I like. There's a couple guys out there. They're talking about the guy from Kansas State is another one that they were talking to. I think they met with him. I forgot his name. It's Giddens. They like him a lot. But
yeah, it's
but yeah, if they take over Kenneth Grant, it's a head scratcher in my eyes. I think that's the one player that the Steelers will take over Jackson Dart.
So Herb here says, draft Emeka and trade GP to get back into the second round.
And that's another conversation I was going to get into because I've been starting to hear some rumblings about this. What if we draft Emeka Egbuka round 1, trade GP to get a second round pick?
But then here's my rebuttal to that.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say you're going to get a second round pick for him?
I agree.
Because look at it this way. He has 1 year left on his contract.
I agree.
You're going to have to pay him. We all know he's been a head case.
Yep.
So is there a team that's going to be willing to do that? Granted, yes, I understand that we were able to convince Chicago to trade that 32nd overall pick to us for Chase Claypool. I understand that. And while GP does have the talent, I think that was just Ryan Poles just being an idiot.
When you say a team, I could think of a team, possibly, maybe a couple teams. I think I know one that would be for sure. The team that goes all in every year. I'm sure they would love to trade for him.
The Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, yeah. They need a receiver next to CeeDee Lamb. That's only if this is an if situation, case by case scenario. Don't take everything that I say seriously. I don't think the Steelers would. I think they can consider it. I don't know if they'll draft a receiver and trade GP away. It's possible, but I just don't see it as of now.
TJ here says GP is NFL tested and Mecca isn't. Yeah, but I mean, I've said TJ, and I know you've been here long enough to know what I've been saying about Emeka. I think that he is quote unquote bust proof. That's my opinion there. He said he'd rather trade back with Buffalo or Philly, which,
man,
I don't know how I feel about trading. The only way that I would trade back,
quarterback's not there, not a good defensive tackle there, or you can get him later. You can for sure get someone later.
If you're talking about someone like Derek Harmon, I think that's the conversation that you have is, listen, Derek Harmon, yeah, he'll be there 21, but he also might be there 20, 29, 30, 28, 30, wherever. And I know Philadelphia's 32. There's that conversation. If you're wanting to go that route.
Yeah.
Which
I don't see it happening. I don't see us trading back.
I don't either.
Unless there's, like I said, unless the quarterback's not there, or you can get Kenneth Grant off the board. All the best available players you think, your top players like Will Johnson, Jahdae Barron, not there. Walter Nolan, another guy. I don't know if they'll take some of those guys. If they're not there, then I could see the reason they would trade back.
Herb here says, or draft Emeka and ride with DK, GP, and Egbuka. As much as I'd love that, I think I have a better chance of getting a 6-pack in 5 minutes than that happening.
It just be too deep in the wide receiver class, right?
See, I wouldn't say too deep. I would just say I wouldn't do that in that situation because wide receiver is now not the biggest need on this team
Nope.
anymore. You got what you needed. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go after a wide receiver later on this draft. That's not what I'm saying.
Yep.
But what I am saying is I think we're at a point now where we don't have to draft a wide receiver in the first round, where now we put ourselves in a position to get a
Best
Will
player
Johnson
available.
if he is available, or a Kenneth Grant, or one of those defensive tackles. Or could they, for some odd reason, shock us with a middle linebacker? Maybe.
I doubt that.
I doubt it, but it's a conversation you got to have. Could they shock us and go with like a guard or something? I think that's highly unlikely, but it's a
That could be
conversation
shocking.
that could be had.
Yep.
It's
I
a
agree.
conversation that could be had.
I agree. Because what if Tyler? Let's say Tyler Booker, the guard's there. You grab him.
Well, I highly doubt he will be there.
Exactly.
I think there's a couple teams in the that are above them that definitely need guard help.
I agree. But I'm just saying, if he's there, that's like the surprise pick. If they don't go,
people are underestimating Calvin Austin. He's a wide receiver 3. See, here's my thing with Calvin Austin. Let's also not forget about Roman Wilson.
Yep.
I think Roman Wilson, if he can actually get on the field, I think he is someone that can be a very utilized and very effective wide receiver 3 based on the play style that he plays.
Yep.
I think that, and then listen, that frees up Calvin Austin to where if you wanted to go 5 wide or something, that opens things up for him to just be able to go deep. Because look at it this way. Right now, if you have George Pickens and DK Metcalf, we all know George Pickens is a deep threat.
Yep.
DK, he could be a deep threat, but we know defenses are going to be worrying about him.
Yep.
You got to worry about Roman Wilson over the middle. You'll also have to worry about Pat Freiermuth over the middle.
Yep.
So if you wanted to run something like that, that opens things up for Calvin Austin as well. So I think I would prefer to have Calvin Austin as a wide receiver 4, and that's not necessarily a knock. It's just I think that the play style of the way that Roman Wilson plays fits what that wide receiver 3 position, playing that slot position.
Yep, a lot more for sure. The Steelers hardly go 5 wide anyway. It'd be nice to see it because honestly, I don't know what the defense would do against the 5 wide. You got to worry about DK on one side, GP on the other side, Roman in the slot, Calvin Austin, Freiermuth as the tight end. What you got to pick one.
It opens things up.
Yep. It's just we're just all wondering who's gonna throw them the ball. Is the question. That's the whole reason why we're all stressed out. Is who's gonna throw the ball to these guys? Who's the quarterback? Because let's just say we get Aaron Rodgers. Let's just say we get him. He's gonna start for 1 year. Then someone's gonna sit, and then the Steelers. I think they will still draft the quarterback with Aaron Rodgers still on the team. As much as I don't want them to, I think the quarterback class for next year is better. I think they will.
We shall see. TJ here. Let's see. I'm telling you, Omar is planning to make his franchise-changing moment at the 2026 draft. He's pulling a Howie Roseman with 2026, especially if we trade, go at the trade deadline.
Probably GP at the I don't know. I think it's what's right.
So, but if you're trading GP at the trade deadline, that means things are just going all hell has broken loose, and you're 2-6. Just like how it was when you traded away GP to begin with.
Yep. Next year is the it's going to be great next year. I can't wait for next year's draft when that comes around. It's going to be Pittsburgh. Steelers going to have a whole bunch of picks going into it. It's gonna be exciting.
I will definitely be there.
I think a lot of people will.
It's going to be a blast. I'll be very curious to see how the draft show next year is going to be looking like
Oh yeah.
Based on, I can't say what I want to say, but what I will say is, based off of information what I was told, next year's draft show might be something special.
Oh my. Now
I can't.
now
We'll have to see, because obviously we're over a year out. But
I'm curious.
from information, what I was told,
I don't know. I don't know this. It's crazy.
I don't know why people are scared of Mason when people wanted him to take the reins before we signed Russ and trade for Fields. Listen, as much as I appreciate the way that Mason Rudolph played in those couple games, as much as I appreciate it,
You saw the decline right after when he started for Tennessee. and then went back to Will Levis.
To be fair, it is Tennessee we're talking about, and there was
I agree.
pick for a reason. But I mean, let's be honest here. There's been a reason. Say what you want.
We gave Mason a chance. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I gotta say. We gave Mason a chance. And people say, and people are gonna say, no, he didn't get a chance. He did get a chance. He definitely got a chance. Oh well. We're glad to have you back, Mason. We're happy to have you as our backup quarterback right now. If you're to start, well, we still support you, but that means I know where we're going.
Yep.
That means that we all know where we're going. That's all I got to say. But right now, we're still waiting on Aaron Rodgers if he's going to come or not. Shoot, we don't even know. Huh? Pause. All right. Chill out.
Hey, yo.
If he's going to join the team or not.
I'm going to have to find a way to clip that.
All right. Chill out. But,
just like how last year you had your, we had it was a year or two ago, you had a clippable moment.
Yes. I know that clip very well.
You do?
I know what the clip is.
Oh, hello.
All right, chill out. But that's pretty much all I got. It's just another week went by. No signing of Aaron Rodgers yet. Steelers are still gonna see. Tomorrow's the big day. Like I said, we talked about Colorado's pro day. We'll see who's there. If Omar Khan, Mike Thompson, they're there, then it's serious. That looking at Shedeur Sanders possibly, maybe falling. Wouldn't be surprised. Never know. I doubt it. The top 3 picks is what I'm curious. I think that's what everyone's curious about, including myself. I want to know how it's going to start. Is it going to be Cam Ward number 1? Are the Browns going to take Abdul Carter or Shedeur Sanders, or maybe Travis Hunter? I don't know. 3rd pick, the Giants. They got 2 quarterbacks, Russ Wilson and Jameis Winston. Are they going to take a QB, or they go for Travis Hunter? That's what sets up the draft right there. Is just those first 3 picks, in my, because I think the Patriots are going to get whoever's left, besides the quarterbacks, of course.
Pondering in my head, do the Giants actually take a quarterback at 3?
I don't think they do.
But see, here's the thing, though. Right now, the way that their quarterback room is set up, you have Russell Wilson on a 1-year deal. You have Jameis Winston on a 2-year, $8 million deal.
Yep.
And Tommy DeVito.
Hey, Tommy Cutlets. They could.
I still, if I'm the New York Football Giants,
I go get Shedeur.
Yes. I think that they should still be in the quarterback running in this draft.
But I think the Giants are going to make the Giants, the giant move that they usually do.
It'll be interesting to see.
It's shown, besides Malik Neighbors, it's shown. Daniel Jones. Andrew Thomas.
He's been all right.
He's been all right, but not not the pick that they wanted. I forgot who it was that year, but
the Andrew Thomas. I mean, because that was when you had the tackles. That was Andrew Thomas, Jedrick Wills, the fat fuck that went to the Giants or went to the Jets. Why am I forgetting his name? And then you had Tristan Wirfs. Tampa Bay, who they had. That's been a phenomenal pick.
But if the Giants are smart, they take Shedeur Sanders. Now, in our mock draft, will I have him? Maybe, maybe not. I won't know.
2 weeks.
To see in 2 weeks.
Hey, 2 weeks is a long time.
I'm leaning in two directions with the Giants of what I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm leaning more towards the Giants to make the dumb pick in my eyes, because the Giants will do that, and then the Patriots will have to take, unfortunately, a tackle.
I think they'll take a tackle regardless.
No, not if Travis Hunter's is there.
I still don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that.
Pass up on Travis Hunter at 4 if he's there.
To get a guy to protect your franchise.
I agree. I totally agree. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I don't think the Patriots would pass up on him.
I think that would be a tough decision, and I think
tough.
that Mike Vrabel, their new head coach, is going to look at it and say, "Listen, we need guys to protect our young quarterback at all costs." And
does that mean Travis Hunter goes 5 to
Jacksonville? And I think that would be the perfect landing spot for him. I think that is the perfect landing spot. That's where I had him in my last mock draft, and I think that was the perfect landing spot for him.
Okay.
Here TJ says, in the position the Giants are in, they could draft Milroe later.
Oh my God! Yes.
That would be
yes. That's the Giants move right there. Oh man, TJ just nailed it on the head. Oh, now we're manifesting that right now. Jalen Milroe to the Giants. Oh my goodness, that's what I want.
That's hilarious.
That would be the manifestation pick right there. Yeah, learn under Russ and Jameis Winston for under a year or two, and then see what you got. Oh my gosh, I would be happy. Jalen, no disrespect to Jalen Milroe, just very, very raw at the quarterback position. He's not.
His mechanics are very wonky. That's just me.
It's a boom or bust with him as well. Like he is a boom, or down the drain bust. You wasted a pick on him.
Oh Lord!
I'd rather take my shot at Jackson Dart than Jalen Milroe.
I'd rather take my shot at Will Howard.
Will Howard's another one.
Tyler Show.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
But
they're talking about him being a first-round quarterback, which I doubt that will happen. But
wait, hold on, whoa,
Tyler,
whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
On NFL Live, I heard a clip from Dan Orlovsky. He asked Field Yates that question. I know I don't take them seriously, but that was that's what I heard. Dan Orlovsky thinks that Jackson Dart is a top 10 pick. That's what he said.
That I can't fully disagree on.
Yeah, you can't.
I'll say that is something I'm not going to fully shame him for that take.
But he thinks a possibility, Tyler, that Louisville quarterback could be in a first-round pick. That sounds madness to me.
Yeah, that to me is that's an abomination, an atrocity.
So
whatever adjective or whatever the hell that Stephen A says.
Stay off the weed, he says.
Stay off the weed. Duh.
But man, like I said, Dano's top 10. I wasn't mad about that. I was mad a little that other comment, Tyler Snow. I was like, oh, okay, let's calm down a little bit. Let's calm down.
Oh man.
But other than that, it's good. 3 weeks. I can't wait till this is over. I'm gonna be honest. I'm tired of this. I think you're tired of it. I'm tired of it. We're waiting on Aaron Rodgers to decide his future.
Let's get it over with.
I'm just ready to get it done. I want to focus on baseball for a little bit, basketball maybe. Take a break from this NFL drama that I hear every day. Oh, the Steelers. Art Rooney said, we had some good discussions with Mr. Rodgers. Okay, good. Are we going to sign him or not? Oh, we'll let you know. That's what he said.
Just let's get it over with. I'm begging you. But other than that, I think that's about it for this week. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties, but we get things back and rolling. And so other than that, again, make sure next week, noon Eastern time, we'll be live. We'll be talking with Joe 412 to be talking draft. We'll just have a big old conversation like this. I'll open it up on X the night before. I'll make it to where you guys can drop comments and ask questions on what you want to talk about or want us to answer within that. Hopefully Jared doesn't have to work.
Yep.
If he does have to work, then it'll just be me and Joe. And if he doesn't work, which we hope not, then obviously Jared will be on there. We'll be talking draft.
Yeah, I want to ask him about the running backs. That's what I really want.
Speaking of baseball, Judge hits a 3-run homer. They need to ban those torpedo bats, and the Yankees are a second-round exit.
Okay, Judge doesn't use a torpedo bat, by the way, if you're really wondering.
Doesn't fit my agenda.
Yeah, of course, you don't care. You don't want to hear the facts, but it's just a fact. Just so you know. Just so you know. I can tell you the players who have the torpedo bats if you would like to know, but you don't care.
And they all need to be banned.
Okay.
I am an expert hater.
I
haven't figured that out yet.
I know you've been an expert hater. Like top 10 most wanted hater.
I'm thriving to be number 1. Don't worry. It's coming. But other than that, I do want to say thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. TJ says last word, old Yeller Rogers. That's just crazy to say. It's a crazy thing to say.
Yep.
But yeah, if you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're on X, make sure to go and follow both of us on there. And if you're on my Facebook, what's good, everyone? How y'all doing? And until then, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, have fun. And until then, fuck the Yankees.
And fuck the Guardians.
Oh, right now we're fucking ourselves. But all I gotta say is, how about them Cavs? How about them Cavs?
Great.
61 wins.
Congrats.
Let's see what are the standings. Wait a minute. Is that the Orlando Magic in 7th?
Yep, that is
3
correct.
games under 500.
It's about to be 2 games under 500. It's about to be 2 games under 500.
Ooh. Ooh, yeah, that's
It's all about the playoffs, man. We're almost there. It's all about the playoffs.
Couldn't hear you guys all the way down there.
All right. Second round exit for you guys already coming.
Okay. Okay.
It happened last year. It's just bound to happen again this year.
You come buy your flights to Cleveland to come watch us in the finals.
Okay, definitely not happening.
But till then, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, have fun. Fuck the Yankees. And until then, peace out, everyone.